Good evening. I'm going to call to order the Cottonwood Heights Community Development and Renewal Agency Business Meeting for Tuesday, October 3rd. As mayor of Cottonwood Heights, I serve as the chair of the CDRA, with members of the city council as members of the board of this agency. We'll move on to our first item of business, which is consideration of resolution 2023-05-A or resolution 2023-05-B, appointing members of the Hillside Plaza Citizen Advisory Committee. Let me explain why there are two resolutions. So 2023-05-A has 12 committee members, one individual member named Eric Cron in District 4. 2023-05-B omits Eric Cron and includes Gordon Walker in 2023-05-B. So at this point, I'm going to open it up to the council if they have any comments or questions to add on either one of these resolutions.
I'll make a quick comment. This was quite the process, and we really were excited by the number of residents that came forward to submit their names and some information about why they wanted to be part of this advisory committee. This is an important committee for us. This committee will give us an opportunity to bring in various perspectives and help us to be able to make the right decision for our community. So I really want to thank everyone that submitted their names. I want to thank all of our residents for their willingness to show some great energy around this process. And I'm looking forward to our committee members that were selected to participate, to bring in other residents. That's one of the responsibilities that are part of this committee, is to bring in other residents and to expand that overview of the project as we move forward. So again, I just want to show my appreciation and thank everyone for being willing to participate in this.
Thank you, Councilmember Newell.
I would add, I again appreciate. I had a lot of people express interest. One actually sent an email out yesterday saying, and I'd be like, oh, well, we kind of, it was already the time passed, but I did read an article this last week. I don't remember if it was in the Tribune or the news, but they were interviewing David McCullough, who's written a couple of books on the 1776 John Adams. He's a biographer that's very well respected. And one of the quotes they had in that article, and I'll read this, it's a little bit of archaic language, but I'll explain how it's relevant here in a second. But it says, James Madison, who's often considered the father of our Constitution, wrote, all the delegates composing the convention, this is the Constitutional Convention, were satisfactorily accommodated by the final act, or were induced to accede to it by a deep conviction that the necessity of sacrificing private opinions and partial interests to the public good. As I read that, I reflected many, many times over my service in the city where my first choice, be it as an employee or a wording on an ordinance or something like that, was not the one that won the day. In most cases, it's come out very, very well. I won't go to be mentioning names on who may or may not have been my first choice amongst the employees, but back in the early days of the city, the council was much more involved in those processes than they are now. But there is a need, I think, certainly in our country and all the way down to local politics for that ability to either be accommodated or accede by sometimes subjecting a personal opinion to the better public good. I think this committee will be for the public good. And that's how I'll be basing my vote tonight.
Yes, Councilmember Burrell.
Thank you. So for the public to perhaps understand the distinction in these two resolutions, the process that our CDRA board has worked under is, and I will say personally that one of the reasons I supported the acquisition and the bonding by the city of this 10 acres was because we talked at length about how this would be citizen driven, that we originally talked about a citizen steering committee that would ensure that the public engagement and the placemaking was built into this space. We knew that we had to make it financially viable. These are big challenges, but I was able to get behind this because I have such faith in the amazing expertise and involvement, and as my council colleagues have mentioned, the dedication that so many citizens here in Cottonwood Heights have for the development and the future of our city. And so it's been very, very important to me, as I've had many constituents within District 4 come to me and express their interest. I selected two persons for a little different reasons, but I selected Eric Cron because of his demonstrated devotion to this community in recent years, certainly long before I really jumped in with both feet, which was about 4 years ago. And he has become an esteemed person within our community for his ability to analyze and his willingness to research thoroughly and become very conversant in areas of land use, public safety, mobility, and other things. And so out of the 12 nominees, I was able to put forward 2, as were each of my council colleagues and our city manager, each put forward 2 names. I need to say that to have Eric Cron singled out, that because he is considered, he sometimes is considered a rival to some of the politicians who have served here in the community. He's a disruptor by nature. And if you read books about some of the most successful companies in the United States, they were founded by disruptors who were able to see things in ways that the vast majority were unable to perceive. And so I think it's incumbent upon the CDRA to make sure that we welcome diverse voices. I'll read to you from the International City Managers Association what they have to say about the matter of putting together successful committees. And I quote, "By increasing diversity of thought in advisory committees, a local government can be more approachable to its residents, more socially and fiscally responsible, and increasingly accessible to a greater number of people." And so with these 2 resolutions that are put forward, I am not in any way suggesting that those on the resolution 2023-05B, which includes Gordon Walker, who is a very esteemed member of the District 4 community, both of these groups will be successful. But I do have a concern that we need to make sure as a city that we can go forward in the best manner when we leave our personal preferences and political agendas aside and make sure that we welcome diverse voices in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Burrell. I will add my voice as well, that I am grateful for the willingness of so many people to serve in our city. So when we put this out on social media that we were interested in attracting people within our community willing to advise on this important project that we're about to start. The amount of people willing to jump in is amazing, and it shows the dedication of the people in our city to have a voice in what our city looks like. And anyway, I just wanted to thank again everybody who expressed an interest to join this committee. So
Mayor, might add that this is a stepping stone to the public input area. This is kind of to get us down from a great big wide variety of things to something that we can present to the public so that everyone will have a chance to come in and speak. I wanted to make that clear, just in case anybody misunderstood. This is a stepping stone to funnel a lot of information down to something that's more digestible for a one or two or however many public open houses the council decides.
thank you, Councilmember Bracken. I appreciate that. Okay, so at this point, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-05-A or resolution 2023-05-B.
I motion to approve resolution 2023-05A.
Do we have a second? So I will entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-05-B.
I move that we approved resolution 2023-05-B.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve from Councilmember Bracken and a second from Councilmember Renewal to approve resolution 2023-05-B. Any final questions or comments before we move to vote?
No, Mr. Walker, I have known for a number of years. He brings, when you submitted that name, I was very excited with your experience with, all I can come up with homelessness. You've done a lot of work.
And he's also was the governor's advisor on housing.
That's what I meant. So, I don't speak and remember things as well as I should, but, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, hearing no more comments, I'll move to the vote. We'll call for the vote. So Councilmember Holton,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Newell,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrell.
I abstain.
I will vote yes. The measure passes with 4 yeses and 1 abstention. Okay. So that is all we have on our agenda today for the CDRA meeting. Let me just read quickly how the minutes will be approved for this. The minutes of this meeting will be approved through the following process. The agency's secretary promptly will circulate a draft copy of the minutes to the board members, who will have 3 business days to provide any proposed corrections to the secretary. The secretary will then circulate a revised draft of the minutes to the board members, and the same review process will continue until such time as no corrections to the draft minutes are received within the 3 business days review period. Whereupon that draft of the minutes will be deemed approved and will become the final minutes of the meeting. At this point, I'll accept a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.